Okay, our next lesson is on captions. And this is again from Unit 5, Week 2. And we're going to look into our reading book. You don't have this, but I'll be reading this. This goes with our lesson, and the genre is nonfiction. That means what? That means that it is real. It's not fake. It's a real story. We know that by looking at the pictures. We have real pictures and real people in our story doing real things. It says to compare the text. Okay, before we read about the kitten and the moon. Now we're reading about the moon. It says read about something you see in the night sky. And that was something we were talking about this week, what we see in the sky. So we're going to start with this story. It says, think of what you see in the night sky. You see stars and the moon. The moon is the neighbor closest to the earth in space, but it is very far away. The moon is about 250,000 miles from Earth. Okay, you talk about going from Sistersville to Payton City. That's just a few miles, I'm not sure this 5 or 7 miles. Here you're talking about 250,000 miles from Earth. Just imagine a trip with mom and dad. And you're saying, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Okay, so the moon, it says, is the closest neighbor. So if we're looking at all the planets going around the Earth or in the orbit and are going around the sun, not around the Earth, they're going around the sun, and all the things the thing that's closest to the Earth is the moon. It says, on some nights the moon looks bright and round, but it does not make its own light. Light from the sun shines on the moon. The light bounces back to Earth. We see only the lighted part of the moon that faces Earth. So that's why we see the moon at different times, when it's full, when it's a part moon, it's half moon. Okay, that's because we are just seeing what part shines on the moon, what part of the sun shines on the moon. Okay, here we have a caption. A caption is a picture that goes, is a sentence or words that go along with the picture to explain the picture more. And it says the moon looks much smaller than it really is because it is so far away. You know, when you look far down the road and you see an object, then as you get closer, it gets bigger. Well, the same thing with the moon. As you get closer, it would get bigger. Here's another picture, and the caption here says, the moon looks different every day of the month. Sometimes we see it looks like this. Then the next time we see more until we see a whole moon. And then back down. Okay, why doesn't the moon look round every night? The moon moves in a circle around the Earth. As it circles, part of the moon faces the sun. We see the part of the moon that is lighted. That's why the moon seems to change shape. Okay, so when we're seeing the moon, that's just the part of the sun that hits the moon, or that shines on the moon. The caption here says, we can see the moon better with a telescope, and the instrument we use to look at things far away in the sky is called a telescope. People once thought the moon was made of cheese. They saw the face of a man in the moon. When you look at the moon, can you see a face of a man? Is it really a face? Then telescopes helped us see the moon better. The telescopes showed hills and flat places. They showed craters or big holes too. So what is a crater? Well, the sentence tells us it's a big hole. So when you're seeing the face of a man on the moon, really what you're seeing are the hills and the flat places that make it look like a face. Then in 1961, astronauts went to the moon. In 1969, other astronauts walked on it. They got a really close-up look. Nothing grows on the moon. It is very rocky. astronauts brought back moon rocks for us to see. Maybe one day you will go to the moon too. So what are astronauts? Well, it did not tell us that, what they were, but it tells us they went to the moon and walked on it and brought back things from the moon. So maybe astronauts then are people who fly in outer space in the spaceships that go to the moon or go to outer space. Okay, caption here. Astronauts went into space and landed on the moon. And this is a picture of the first astronaut landing on the moon. Okay, it says make connections. What kind of moon did Kitten in Kitten's first full moon see? Did she see a moon when it was small like this? A half moon? Which moon did she see? Well, she saw the full moon, didn't she? Because it looked like what? A bowl of milk. Why, or would she try to catch the moon every night? Well, if she saw the moon here, would she think it was a bowl of milk? No, probably not. It doesn't look like a bowl, does it? Okay, so we're going to look in your red workbook, your turn book, on page 233. And it says, captions are short descriptions that tell more about a photograph or picture, what we just read in the story. So it says circle the caption that tells about the picture. Okay, look at this picture. What do you see? Boy and a girl looking at the stars and the moon. It says Dad and Jess looked at the moon. Okay, I said a boy and a girl. Yeah, it would be a dad and a girl. Yeah. And then it says Dad and Jess read about the moon. Okay, so are they looking at it or are they reading? They're looking at it. So it said to circle the caption. So I'm going to circle the first one. Okay, number 2. We see a spaceship and we see the moon. The spaceship is near the moon. The spaceship landed. Has it landed yet or is it just near? Well, it's near, so we're going to circle that one. Okay, number 3. He is on the spaceship. Oops. He is on the moon. Okay, so we're looking at this picture here. Is he on the spaceship or is he on the moon? Well, he is on the moon. Okay, and this one, we see a little boy looking through his telescope up the moon. Dan looks at the moon. Dan looks at a map. Well, he's looking at the moon, isn't he? Then, you see 2 people out here looking up at the sky. They like to read. They gaze at the stars. Well, they're not reading anything, are they? They're looking up at the stars. They gaze. They look at the stars. Gaze, again, is one of our words with a shade of meaning. It makes things a little stronger. Okay, you have 2 boys standing there holding something. It says they have moon rocks. They look up at the moon. Well, they're not looking at the moon, are they? And those must be rocks they have in their hands. So they have moon rocks. Okay, and that ends our lesson on captions. Thank you.